There's cats. Oh my gosh, go away. There we go. So Misdiagnosis Part 3 is going to involve a misdiagnosis that I've already talked about, which was the PCOS. And a little bit more about the transgender misdiagnosis. So I almost fell. The frustrating talking about that one. So this is harder than I thought it was going to be. They told me that I was eventually going to outgrow it, with the transgender gender dysphoria that they diagnosed me as. They said, "Oh, you're eventually going to outgrow it. You're eventually going to eventually you're just going to outgrow it. So don't worry about it. You're going to outgrow it." This is, so I went forward with it thinking, sure, I'll outgrow it. And for a while there, I didn't really think about anything. Even when I got a phone call from a doctor, telling me that the second karyotype, I've had 3 karyotypes done now. The second karyotype came back, as, absolutely insane. That's when I got told about the trisomy that some of my cells had. And of course, me being the derpy little crap I was, all I cared about was, I was like, well, does that mean I'm not gonna probably get a menstrual cycle? Oh no, probably not. You're safe from that. Okay, I don't care about anything. Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's the story of my life there. But they decided to go with this idea of, oh, you're just gonna outgrow it, and it'll be a thing of the past, and you'll move on and feel better and normal. But we really would like you to take these hormone blockers, so we can at least feel better about the decision. I was finally scared into going on hormone blockers when I was 17, because they kept throwing around cancer, and didn't want cancer. So I was just like, and they were throwing it around like, oh, if you don't do something now, by the time you're in your 30s, you're gonna have cancer. And nobody really told me why. They just went along with this narrative of, oh, you're just transgender, and don't worry about all that. Just. So the cysts did sort of clear up. They did clear up when I went on the puberty or the hormone blockers. But I was never pain-free, and I kept saying, hey, look, I'm still in pain here. Okay then. I'm still in pain here, you gotta do something about this. No, you're not in pain. That's just figment of your imagination. It's just polycystic ovarian syndrome. Don't worry about it. Um, that led to many years of me complaining about pain. It diminished, but it never really completely went away. And um, with the diagnosis of gender dysphoria and schizoaffective disorder, they weren't taking me at all serious. Or I later found out they just didn't want to tell me some of a good chunk of what was going on there. So, yeah. Um, the They just kept pushing PCOS. And when I left pediatrics, I was sent to a adult OBGYN who did try to do something of an exam, and she wasn't able to do that exam because stuff in that area was not fully developed for anything. And stuff was changing. It wasn't. Things were changing, and or things had changed, and things kind of got brought to a halt. And she was never able to do an actual exam. So they just kept it up with, oh, this is just PCOS, you're gonna have PCOS, and occasionally there are cysts that break free and form even when you're on the Depo-Provera shot, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. So I said, well, I don't really agree with this, but okay. It still never felt right, and I began to see just how the medical community doesn't take women being in pain seriously. And it was really alarming to me just how willing they are to just brush it under the rug and pretend women don't feel pain, or women have uncomfortable menstrual cycles, or they just nobody was taking me seriously, and I got the sense that a lot of women just go through that same not being taken seriously, as they're either overly hormonal, or you're not you've given birth. This isn't half as bad as childbirth, and you survived that just fine. No, no. So that's when I started to learn that they just really don't care that I'm in pain. They just really didn't care that I hurt and what was causing it. And I was like, well, if they don't care that I hurt, then they can't care that other women hurt. So, but that leads into another problem that happened I forget how old I was, so yeah. I'm dying. There we go. Yay. Itch. Yeah, that was 4 misdiagnoses. There was a 5th misdiagnosis involved in there, and I'm pretty sure that's just going to involve its own video too, because that one's probably going to involve a couple of videos on its own, because that was handled so terribly by everybody. But yeah, nobody was, because of the whole slew of misdiagnoses I had already suffered at this point. Nobody was taking this thing seriously at all. And it's just very frustrating to have a legitimate problem and nobody takes you seriously because they think you're just mentally ill. Stupid.